Welcome to our podcast, Proper Cuppa Tea, the show where you can put your feet up and have a good old natter. Thank you for tuning in today. We're going to unwind, relax, and have a nice cup of tea. And who is it I'm sitting next to today? Introduce yourself.
My name's Jennifer Channer. Some people know me as the Liberty Lady, and I'm the founder of Liberty Photography and what was Dimples and Daisies, but is no more. But yeah, Liberty Photography is my little baby. And
anyone would think she's quiet and retiring.
Yeah, not so retiring. Sometimes I'm shy. Like, I don't know why, but I'm shy in the limelight. But in a crowd, I'm fine.
It's weird, isn't it, how we naturally do and how we do it. See, in a big crowd, I will become invisible.
Oh, no, you don't.
I find it a bit
You
overwhelming.
try to become invisible.
I try, but everyone seems to
No, that you don't.
find me.
You stand out in a crowd, and that's kind of your problem, because then everyone wants a bit of you, so you try and hide, but you can't.
I know.
Sorry.
It's just like, I just want to be in the background, but everything in me, I'm like a kid in a sweet shop.
Yeah. I like to observe the party, but the thing is, when you don't want the spotlight, it gets put on you, girl.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. We've got the same problem.
And it's like, people wouldn't know this, that we're actually friends. I class you as a friend. Yeah. And sometimes we're quite honest with each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, Instagram is great, Facebook is great, but when you get to know the real person, isn't it better?
But how you really...
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we sort of like, even now, can figure out by our posts, we're not having good days.
Yeah. She is not okay.
Yeah. It's like,
I'm
and
just
I
gonna
find
check
if I
on
go
her.
manic in my posts, that means
Oh, you'll get a little sly.
a little sly DM.
Hi. Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
So, Jen, could you just inform the people
Sorry.
right now what you were doing 5 minutes ago? What you were actually eating?
I was eating a banoffee cheesecake very slowly, with so much intention, because it had been made by this guy called Ian, homemade with love. It was so good, and I just really believe that when you have something that good in your mouth, you should savour it and you should enjoy it all. So I was just really slowly eating my cheesecake, and quite childlike probably, but so sorry.
Isn't it great when you
Sorry
really...
I had to witness that.
I know. Well, it was better than the 5 minutes beforehand when you came in, you went, I've just ate.
Oh, sorry. Then I had just ate sardines on toast, and Becki made me go and wash my hands because she wouldn't hug me.
Yeah, it's like, ooh.
I just really fancied it. And do you know what? I reckon I eat sardines once every 6 months maybe, but every now and again I think, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've never
Reminds me of
had
being
that
a
feeling
kid.
over
Never had that.
Never. I
had
can
that.
honestly say, I always get that feeling of, ooh, with a cup of tea. Mm-hmm. And I'm eating Ian's actually homemade chicken and ham pie right now.
I've got that in a tin foil to take away
I know.
so the viewers can get gel.
I know. It
Smells so good.
But isn't it great just to sit and chill?
I'm really learning to chill. So I'm sorry, anyone listening, I've got a little bit of a cold. So I'm trying my hardest not to sniff, because you can't do that on a podcast, can you? But
Well, I actually burped just before we went
yeah,
live,
you did.
didn't we?
And I hope that actually was recorded so they can just add the burp in now. But it was so funny. But I always think I never know what I'm going to get with you. When I sit with you, it's always like, what's going to come out today? And
Yeah, you never know.
I actually did ask, well, what are we going to talk about? And she said,
We don't plan
not
it.
interested in planning anything. Let's just keep it raw. And I was like, okay, fine.
I like raw and real.
I love that. I like raw and real. And I think there's not many spaces you go into when there's like zero intention on a podcast. I said I wanted to enjoy myself. You said that's what it's all about. Great.
We want
Here we
people
are.
at home thinking we're just sitting and chilling.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes you get overcomplicated and like somebody asked me, what questions will you ask? And I'm like, questions? I don't think that deep.
No.
I'm like,
know.
no, I don't want to hear a podcast where you know it's a list of questions. I want it to
Yeah.
just roll. And the questions
Exactly.
lead to conversations that maybe go into risky areas or controversial, because I think that's life. You know, there will be things that we disagree on personally and that. But I love you enough to go, do you know what?
Yeah. And also, like, I've got to a point in my life where just because something's not my way, or you're like something that isn't right for me doesn't mean it's not right for anyone else. And I just kind of can't be bothered with all that. Like, that's not right. It's not right for me. That's it.
That's it.
You know?
And I've done a lot of, so recently a lot of people have hurt me behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I've never read this person's work and I've never done anything like that. But there's a new book out called Let It Be. Mm-hmm. And I just absolutely just love that sentiment of, if people are going to talk about you badly, let it be. If people are going to have a negative view about you, let it be.
It's not called Let Them, is it?
It is. Just let them. That's it. Let
Mel
them.
Robbins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think, just let them.
Yeah, let them.
Don't
Fuck
defend
it.
yourself.
Do you know what? I've got to a new point in my life, where if people are talking about me, I believe it means I'm on my path.
Yeah.
Okay? So when I was younger and I started photography,
I love that, actually.
11 years ago, I started photography, and I think when you first start, the demons are internal. You're thinking, can I do this? I'm not sure. Who am I to put myself out there? Like, I haven't got enough qualifications, blah, blah, blah. And you overcome your own internal demons and you go, no, do you know what? I am going to do this, and I'm doing it. And you start doing it, and then when you start doing your thing and you're really on your path, the demons are external in that, I'm not calling these people demons, but the noise, comes from outside, because they can see you're doing your thing, and it will irk some people. It will trigger their own stuff. And that is when, again, you're on your path, because that's what's going on. And then, and I haven't had that for such a long time. And in November, I was on holiday and someone rang me and she said, I've just been to Southampton and these people were talking about you and it wasn't nice. And she said some of the things they'd been saying, and I was like, yes. I'm back in the game. And I felt so good, because I just thought, I can't swear, can I? But I just was so happy that it means that my energy is starting to affect other people's, because I'm doing something again. You cannot do what you do in this community and have that level of impact and some people not get their nose put out of joint by it. They're gonna be jealous. They're gonna think that they could do it better than you, or if they did it, they do it like this. Let them.
And I just think that is just so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I've literally just gone inside. I want to rip their heads off, and I want to say a few, because that's
choice
the natural
words,
part.
Of course,
that's the natural part of me. And then inside, I think, actually, no. Let them.
Let them. Let your haters
when you
be your motivators.
Point, you just think, oh my God. And inside, I still have that first thing of, I want to knock your block off.
Especially when they are close to you.
Yes.
If they have been close, they've been in your inner circle, it hurts like hell, because you think, how did you not get me? How do you not know that my intentions are pure? Like, I don't understand that. And that really can knock you for six, because that's when you start to question yourself. Yeah. But you mustn't.
Yeah. And that's it, isn't it? And that's what's happened recently. Someone in my inner circle, and I just went, and even though I'm a public person to some people, but I hold my cards very privately.
Yeah, you're human.
Yeah. So it's like I've talked to you honestly. We've had a few coffees that have been really deep, and it's been really a place of honesty. And then if you turned that back on me, it would be like really raw.
Yeah, no.
It would really affect me, but for a long time.
Yeah, of course.
And just those words, let them. I'm just like, it's so powerful.
It's so powerful.
It's liberating, and you just think, And so if nothing else today, we're just saying to people, don't let people put you in a box.
Absolutely.
People are going to judge you whether you do absolutely nothing, because people will be going, oh, you lazy, whatever. And then if you're doing something, they'll say, oh, they're interfering, and they're...
For example, Taylor Swift. Some people love her, some people don't. Should she stop doing music because some people don't? No, she should not. She should just carry on doing her thing, just like we should all carry on doing our thing, and take any external criticism as confirmation you are on your path.
Yeah.
You are.
Someone asked me today, somebody came in today with a support worker, super vulnerable. It's their first visit. Mm-hmm. And I always try and, now as the space grows, and it sometimes is very difficult for me because everybody wants my attention. But I'm always looking for that person that doesn't fit or feels that they don't fit anywhere. Mm-hmm. And I went and I just said, oh, hello, how are you? Really good that you've trusted us to come in. And this guy just turned around and said, I've got a question. And I said, oh, I love questions. And he just said, why is it called Spark? And I went, there is actually a real deep reason of why it's called Spark.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he was like, And I said, and I'm going to trust you to tell you. And he said, what's that? I said, someone a few years ago, in a very negative way, and cost me a lot personally, said, Becki, you rock up with your sparkly personality and people know Becky's in the room. And
like it was a bad thing.
it was done to really take the wind out of me. And I thought, you've read me so wrong. And I didn't defend myself. I didn't spread it around the friendship circle. I walked away. It cost me all my friends in that circle because I wanted to keep this person whole. And I knew if I told everybody what this person had said, she would have been out of the group. And I couldn't put that on somebody else. So it cost me a lot. And I said to him, so when I came to name the charity, it was going to be called Spark because no one's going to say a negative word over my life anymore. No one's going to tell me to shut up anymore or be quiet or be less than to fit in their view and their mould. So I said, that's the story of why it's called Spark.
I love that. That's so beautiful. Take your worst day and make it your best day.
Yeah.
And then you've got a...
And this guy just
That's
went
how
out
you create passion.
and he went to his support worker. That's what we've been talking about today, about these people that are mean to me and how I should... I said, yes, it's you cannot... you are not responsible for how another human being talks about you. You are responsible for how you talk about that human being.
Yeah.
And whether you wear the story that they're saying you are. And I've chosen to try and look at another person and go, I want you to be brighter than me. I want you to shine brighter than me. I really am that person. Inside, I can still go to that negative place. But inside, deep down within my soul. And so this guy was like, yeah, I'm not going to take what that person said to keep me down. I said, no, that's
Because they
your
win
responsibility.
then. If
They
you
win.
shrink, they win. And all they really want is
Oh,
for you
I'm
to
not
shrink.
shrinking anymore. I'm eating a chicken and ham pie, girl.
Same. I'm on course 2. I'm thinking about the cheese board next. Sardines.
Banoffee pie.
2 pies.
I tell you, you're winning at life today, aren't you, dear?
I really feel like I am. Yeah, that is so sad that someone felt like saying that to you was a negative thing. So I like to imagine that we've all got a smoke, yeah? So our energy or our aura is like a smoke. And when we first go in a room, sometimes our smoke can be like quite close to us, but by the end of it, it's settled and it's mingled among everyone else's. But some people's are like lots of different colours, and some people's are pink and sparkly, and some people's change depending on their mood. And sometimes you can shrink your smoke if you feel like there's a bigger smoke in the room, and sometimes you grow it because you feel like, actually, I need to grow it today because people need my big energy today. And I just like think that your smoke is the sparkliest smoke I've ever seen and felt. And I feel like someone said to me the other day, so I'm a photographer, everything with photography is to do with light and playing with light. And she said, I think you've got a sensor in you that can sense light. And I was like, probably. But I also think like I can sense smoke. And I'm telling you that what that person said, it sounds like their intention for you saying it was to make you shrink. But it's actually such a compliment that I'm just really like, why is that bad? I don't understand. Like, that's such a lovely thing to be able to walk into a room, because you can't walk into a room and people not feel that warmth. And what you really have is an intention for everyone around you to, one, see them in the kindest light that you can, and 2, want the best for them and not be afraid of them growing. And so many people are afraid of people growing, that they're like, if they grow, what does that mean about me? And then they make it about themselves. Whereas the illuminators and the freers of the world, they're like, grow. Whatever you become, we're here for you. And that is you. And I think you give out, you get back what you give out. And the reason that you've got all of that lovely energy is because that's what you want for everyone else. You want them to win. So sorry about that mean lady, but
I know. And I think this is where I'm really grateful to you, Jen, because I was at a really weird place, because a few years ago,
it had just happened.
Yeah. And I had won, I mean, I still find it quite fascinating that I won the Women of Inspiration Awards. And so for the thank you from that, Ronnie then gifted us a day with you in the fields of the lavender fields. And I remember going with Debbie Smith, and we didn't have a clue what we were going to.
They were fuming. They did not want to come. They had to be dragged there kicking and screaming.
We were like, why are we going
What
to
are
a
we
field?
doing?
We got lost, and Debbie would, honestly, we were laughing the whole way there going, and
what are we doing?
The only blessing that we had on is we had nude coloured underwear. Because what I didn't realise, now I'm a person that is quite, this is my body, you know.
Liberal in your,
I'm quite,
free in your body.
Yes. And I was like, I was at the lavender field, and this woman was photographed by you, and I was thinking, why is she dancing around the field in this see-through dress that was all flouncy and purple? And it was just
what an idiot.
And then it was just the most, all of a sudden this beauty just hit me of this woman's freedom of running in the lavender field, and you just going, girl, you got this, and being really positive, and she had no inhibitions, and I'm thinking, and you started, and I just...
melt. The smoke started to crackle.
And it was like, I went in quite a boring green dress, and you took some lovely photos. I think it was a green dress.
Business headshot.
Yeah, and it was like, by the end of it, this woman came off the lavender field, and Debbie Smith is my witness. I literally ripped off all my clothes, put on this almost see-through pale lilac-y coloured dress that was all flouncy and lacy. It was just, and I'm running down the lavender field.
Tits out.
And I was just, the freedom. And I felt like, I'm back.
Yes.
I am back. I'm born to win. And girls, if you have never, ever been on a photo shoot with Jen, it is liberating. It's freedom. Boys, if you have girlfriends or mothers or aunties, and you just want to give them that joy, because it is freedom when you truly are, you don't care.
It's
if
like
there's
you
lumps and
forget the
bumps.
whole world.
You do. I'm like, trust me, I have a few lumps and bumps. And I'm like, honest to goodness, I wasn't quite as free as Debbie. She just literally was.
She did get her tit out.
She did.
Just one.
Literally. And I wasn't quite ready for that. But I literally just stripped off in my underwear, put this dress on. And so for me, it's me. You saw my beauty and I saw yours. And that's why I wanted you on this podcast, because I thought people just need to, today, grab that cup of tea and do something crazy. And that's what you keep saying. Be bigger than who you think you are, and do something that makes you feel
wild.
alive.
Yeah.
And that's what you did.
And I think it's so nice, like, to see that, because with photography, it's such a weird line, because I walk this line where I'm like, what we look like is the least important thing about us.
Yes.
However, we do have to be in this meat suit until we die. So we might as well make peace with it, because until we're at peace, I love you body, thank you body, and that there's a balance whereby if I don't like something about what my body looks like, I am not going to let it stop me doing anything, because it's not my value. It's nothing to do with my value. And so when I'm at a Liberty shoot and when I get to see women like that, it's like the veil of what we look like is lifted, and everyone is beautiful.
Yeah.
Everyone just radiates, and they're excited, and it's like their souls have come to play. The souls are out to play more than the body. And I just love it. So.
It's like, but it's like something that, I mean, Debbie Smith and I can remember, I don't know why I call her Debbie Smith. I've always done it, because there's so many Debbies.
Can you just remind me which Debbie you're talking about? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it Debbie Smith?
Yeah, she's Debbie Smith. And if you don't know her, she's pretty cool, and she should be in your friendship circle.
She should.
But it's like I remember going in the car, and we were just like going, on the way back, it was like we went as one woman and we came back as crazy heads of the freedom. It does though. It makes you realise that you need to be, it's like, if you've never been sea swimming, just do it once.
Yeah.
Tick that off your list. Don't wait
overthink
for a better
about it.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do it today.
Once I was in that field and a lady turned up, and she must have been, I don't know, 65 maybe. And she came down the hill in her car, which you're not meant to drive your car literally into the lavender, but she drove her car down, and she refused to get out of her car. And I had to literally move her arm off the steering wheel and move her body out of the car. She was so scared. And we did a circle at the beginning, and she said that when she was 16, the boys at school had bullied her and told her that she looked like a witch. And she had spent her whole life up until that point feeling ugly. Anyway, by the end, she was at the top next to the lavender field. There used to be a wheat field, or there is, but it's on rotation. But anyway, that year there was a wheat field, and she had her arms spread out wide, chest open, tits to the wind, and it was the most beautiful thing to see that level of transformation. And when she came down, she was like, I'm going to drive home topless. And we were like, okay. But she was so happy and so free in her body. But it's so sad to think that
trapped.
Words can have that much effect on you, and you believe them. You take somebody's what they've said, and you internalize it, and it becomes part of your truth for sometimes decades. Like actually what we're talking here, from 16 to maybe 60, 4 and a half decades of
Negative.
Believing that she was ugly. What is the point? And like, honestly, it's so nice when people
freedom
let go of that, and I don't know, it's so beautiful. So I actually do have the best job in the world.
You do.
I do.
And I just think that if people, you can do more than you think when you take away barriers. And I think what your photograph session did for me was, I mean, all the time people will come in here and go, can I have a selfie with you? And I just go, whatever. And you see some people and they do it with all the angles. You know, I've seen Lulu's post about teaching me about the angles and stuff like that. And I sometimes get it right. And sometimes I just think, oh, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's a photo. But I just think there's freedom in not caring.
Yes,
there's
much.
Freedom in being so confident in who you are, what you were born to do. And when you find that, it's freedom. If you haven't found that, follow Jen's social media.
If you want. Liberty Photography.
Liberty Photography.
And Liberty Lady.
And Liberty Ladies, because it really is showing real women and real people the fact that they can be more than they think. And for me, I'm forever thankful for Ronnie from Inspirational Women, and that's coming up again soon, because I would never, and I'm telling you absolutely to your face, I would never have done it.
No.
Never, because I would thought, well, that's for Instagrammers, that's for people that have images, that's for people. It's so wrong, because when you get out of your head.
And I feel like in that, there's so much disservice in what I do, because I'm like, you get photographs, I have to sell it on the back of the photographs because that's like the tangible product. But it's so much more than that.
So much
and
more.
I don't really know how to get that across, you know, like the expansion, the doing something that makes you so afraid that you do something that's really scary, and then your brain goes, well, we didn't die, so what are we going to do next? And then you're in growth, and then you do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're winning.
It's very empowering. So, and if they can't, you do so many accessible programs.
Yeah.
That's the key with you. You're not just a case of, if you've got a massive budget, it's not about that. No. And that's what I love, is that you make it really accessible.
Yeah.
So today, big shout out to Jen.
Can I ask one more thing?
Of course you can.
Well, I was just thinking that what you're going through
I'm gonna
now.
Burp. Sorry.
She's trying to round it up because she needs to burp and fart.
It's like, you know, you just feel like there's something there because I'm just eating the chicken and ham pie, and I'm like, that's
just
why I don't
that
eat
way
food.
and burp.
Yeah, I'm just like.
But basically, what you've just gone through and what you went through a few years ago with your friend and the inner circle and the attacks and I think that a lot of people are going through that. So I think we should both give our tips on getting through that. Mine
is, have every day is a new day. Mm-hmm. And you might at the end of the day think it was a hard day. And we use a different word here. We say it's a different day.
Okay.
So we don't say if it's good or bad. We just say, I've had a really different day. That means you're not keeping in the positive and you're not keeping in the negative. Yeah. You're just saying, do you know, it's just been a different day.
I just burped.
I know. That wasn't me, that was Jen. And for me, it's just keeping your core friends and being really honest when you're not having a day where it's confidence, because we don't live in a plastic, fantastic world.
Yeah,
We live-
shiny. We can't be
No.
shiny all the time.
And sometimes, but I keep that group really small.
That's good.
I have to, because every time you tell that story, whether it's good or bad, it's like a little wound opening up again.
Yeah.
So I always say, don't tell too many people. Keep your circle small. Have loads of people that you talk to and say hello
Yeah.
to, but the people that you can be,
Confide
I need a
in.
coffee with you because I'm not in a good
Yeah.
place. Keep
I
that
need to
circle
talk this
small.
out. Yeah.
Because
And
you
also-
don't want your story and your truth to be a weapon used down the road.
No. And also, don't you think that as time goes on, your people just become like, I feel like now I just know who my people are.
Yeah.
I know who I can tell stuff to and
Yeah.
who's a safe place, and I know who I can't. And it's such a different feeling when you're like, I feel like I have unconditional friendships now, whereas before I used to feel like I lived in quite a conditional space. Now it's like, I know that you don't need to see me every month for me to know that I can come to you.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like, you're not like, well, you haven't checked in on me enough, so that's the end of
Yeah.
that. Like, I'm here for you when you need me, you're here for me, and of course we do check in on each other, but again, it's not like jump through this hoop or
No.
it's over.
And I always have that, we always have that thing of we never post it on social media.
No, we don't.
Because for me...
In fact, we're not even going to post this podcast.
we don't. Because I'm actually quite private
Yeah.
on what I actually do behind the scenes,
Yeah.
because I want it to be a real friendship.
Yeah, of course.
And so I always say to people, I can meet, but I don't want it on social media.
Yeah, I love that.
And they're like, look at me. And I went, no. I'm Becki at Spark,
Yeah.
but Becki is not Spark.
Yeah.
In the sense that I want my
You need
life-
separation.
Yeah, I do. Because because sometimes I'm going through some really big stuff and I know I can talk to you about it. But that's why I talk to you about it. I know we keep burping now.
My sardines just came out, so
I know,
sorry.
God, if it was
Sorry,
smelly vision.
fart.
Yeah.
Sorry. That was not... I nearly swore, but it sounded more like I said fart, so I think it's going to be all right.
You're all right. I've said worse.
Have
I
you?
have said worse. So, and I always say to people, don't post your raw moments on social media.
Yeah.
Just be honest with your core friends
Yeah.
and post, be true, because social media can be so negative.
Yeah.
So enjoy your cup of tea.
Enjoy your tea.
It's a bye from me.
Bye.
So Jenny, just one last thing.
Go on.
A positive sentence that keeps you going. Mine is let it be. It is let it be, isn't it? I have got it right, haven't I?
It's actually let them, but...
Let them, yeah. See, Jenny, I always get
if you're,
words muddled up.
if
Let
you're
them.
quoting that book, my favourite thing, and I'm going to keep it on topic, this isn't just one of my favourite things, and this could sound quite neg, but one of my favourite sayings is, the only thing worse than everyone talking about you is nobody talking about you. I nearly got that the wrong way around. The only thing worse than everyone talking about you is no one talking about you, because they will always talk about you. Especially if you're doing your thing. If you're doing your thing, if you're doing the thing that you were put here to do, if you're walking your path, people will say something. Look at Jesus.